how you going? Some technical difficulties in the studio today. Anyway, let's not go there. I'm just going to talk today about how often you should be posting content in your business when it comes to creating content for your digital marketing or online marketing plan. It can be a little bit overwhelming when it comes to how often you should be posting content and where you should be posting it. And today what I want to do is take you through some different, all the different social media channels and how often you should be creating content, posting content, and how you could, and I'll give you a few tips at the end on how you go about doing that in the easiest possible way. Now, when I get asked the question, how often should I post content? The short answer is, as often as you can create quality content. So whilst I'm going to give you today some, optimum, or what I believe to be optimum amounts of time you should post contents into each of these different channels, I want to make sure and reiterate that that is only if you can create quality content. So it's no good saying post 10 times a day if those 10 posts are going to be terrible. You want to make sure that you have the ability to create good quality content on a regular basis. So let's jump straight into it. So we're going to cover off how often to post on Facebook, TikTok, Twitter, Pinterest, Instagram, LinkedIn, YouTube, and finally on your own blog, your website. And we're going to talk about why that's important at the very end. And we'll get stuck straight into it. So Facebook is probably the one that most people are on. And you'll find that posting on Facebook has, it's easy to probably over post on Facebook. In fact, HubSpot did a study where they looked at anybody with less than 10,000 followers. If you posted more than twice a day, then your posts got less than 50% of the engagement. So it goes without saying that on Facebook, the optimum amount of time you should spend posting, or the amount of posts you should put on there each day, is 1. Now, that's if you've got less than 10,000 followers, which I'm assuming is going to be most of us, right? So if you've got less than 10,000 followers, 1 post a day on Facebook is going to do the job, and you're going to find that that's going to be optimum for you. If you do want to post more often than that, the word of caution is try not to put your posts too close together. That is that, you could post twice a day or maybe even 3 times a day, but don't put your posts any closer than probably 3 or 4 hours within each other. Otherwise, you're going to start to annoy your followers and you're going to lose, their attention. So very important. Now, TikTok is a new one on the scene. And for some of you might be thinking about looking at TikTok. Some of you might have started using TikTok. And I think, from what I understand, I've been on the TikTok platform for some time now, keeping an eye on it. I don't have a TikTok, I'm not actively posting on there, but I can see that the optimum is definitely, sort of 1 video a day for businesses is going to do the trick. If you want to, you could post maybe 3 to 5 times a day on TikTok. It doesn't look like you get penalized for doing extra posting on TikTok. And there are some great businesses that are getting great results. So there's actually one in the Rocks here in Sydney that makes lollies. If you want to see how effective a TikTok channel can be for your business, go and find them. I can't remember the name of the business, but I think if you put in the Rocks lollies, you'll find them. They've done a great job. So that's TikTok there. Now let's look at the next one, which I've got here is Twitter. Now I've been on Twitter for a long time. Pretty much, maybe 15 years now. And Twitter is something that a lot of people don't use anymore, but it's something that you might be thinking of using. Twitter is a bit like, I thought, like a roll of toilet paper. Once the square's gone, it's gone forever. And you think about your post like that on Twitter, you can post something and very quickly it's going to disappear unless somebody goes looking for that particular hashtag or location. So as you do your post, do make sure that you use relevant hashtags. Make sure that you're tagging it with a location or maybe another person if you need somebody else to pay attention to what it is you're tweeting. I believe you can tweet 20 times a day and it's not going to affect you. Optimum, maybe 5 to 15 times, 20 times a day. Twitter's really good if you want to keep people up to speed with what's going on throughout your day. So if you want to keep a running vlog, a bit like stories on some of the other platforms of what's going on in your day, but in a text version, then Twitter's probably the great way to do that. You can, of course, add images as well. And I think that's, so Twitter, you can sort of post, up to 20, probably 25 times a day, and you're not going to get penalized for it. Pinterest. Now, Pinterest is one that I know a lot of businesses don't utilize. Pinterest is really good if you're after the female demographics. It's very much, I think there were some studies done, I think 87% of Pinterest users are female. Pinterest is a great way for you to build up your following if you've got a lot of imagery in what it is that you do. So if you're like an interior designer or you sold something that was fashion-wise, you're maybe a garden landscape, an architect landscape or something, you could definitely benefit by using Pinterest. Now Pinterest, the way that it works is you're going to do pins on a board And the more pins you do, the more attention you're going to get. And there's been some studies that said if you can do good quality pins, 10, 15, 20 pins a day, that will really fast track your followings. Once again, it comes down to how often can you pin quality, because all of this takes time and you've obviously got a lot of other things that you're doing at the same time. So you want to make sure that you stick within something that's manageable for you. I would say with Pinterest, if you can do 3 good quality pins per day, you're going to find that that's going to really help you build your following up on a regular basis. Let's jump to Instagram. Instagram is a lot like Facebook in the sense that you don't want to go oversaturating it with too many things. One of the key differences with Instagram is very hashtag centric. And so you want to make sure that you're using hashtags really effectively on Instagram so people can discover you by when you post something. If you post too often, you're probably going to find you're going to annoy people on Instagram. So I think, once again, Instagram, I would say, optimum would be a few times a day, maybe once or twice a day is ideal. And then that'll give you the traction that you need. Instagram is also owned by Facebook, or Meta as it's called now. And so, you probably follow a lot of the same rules. And, when you set up your ads on Facebook, you can share those ads on Insta as well to get some extra traction if you want to get in front of more people. But, your organic post a couple of times a day is probably going to be best. I would say no more than 3 times a day, and you'll get good results on Instagram. LinkedIn. Now, LinkedIn's an easy one because it's a B2B platform. I've been on LinkedIn for a long time. LinkedIn is one of those ones where you only really need to be posting on business days, and I would say 1 good quality post per day. What's probably more important on LinkedIn is making sure that you are connecting with people that are either prospective customers, maybe they can refer you, or current customers, and then making sure that when they post that you're engaging with their post as well. So you're either liking, commenting, or sharing their posts on your feed. Now, having said that, this is probably a great way for you to be able to create content that's quality if you haven't got time in a particular day, but you need to be consistent, is to find somebody else's quality post and just share it on your feed. That's not as effective, but obviously going to get you out of trouble that day. It's a bit like a get out of jail card, if you like. Now, the last one I'm going to share with you in sort of what I consider social media before we talk about blogging is a YouTube channel. YouTube is very close to my heart. I've had a lot to do with YouTube and built some very successful channels and help people do the same. YouTube needs consistency more than any of the other platforms. Consistency is good on all of them, but YouTube definitely, you need to see some really consistent posting, not just in the quality of the content, but the timing of the content. And it's difficult to create content. Video content is probably the most time-consuming content for anyone to build. So I would suggest that if you're going to use YouTube as a strategy, really focus on how often you think you can create consistent content, because I think that's more important than how often. I say optimum is once a week. But depending on the type of channel you are, if you're the type of channel that is answering questions, frequently asked questions, or doing reviews, you'll probably find that you can get away with twice a week, or maybe even 3 times a week, because people will be searching for those. And don't get hung up on subscriber numbers on YouTube. It's more about how many eyes are on your content and viewers are watching what it is you've got to say. They will then go through to your your download, your website, maybe contact you, buy something from you, whatever it might be, click on an affiliate link, whatever it is you're trying to do. So it's more important that you get the watchers. If people are watching your content and they're enjoying it, and it's one of those channels where, the regular content is what they're interested in, they'll subscribe, but your video could just sit in isolation to answer a particular problem and you providing the solution. So it's a really great tool for that. It is the second largest search engine on the planet, second to Google. Of course, Google owns YouTube, so YouTube videos quite often feature in a Google search. So it's really important that you utilize that in your strategy. That moves me across now to blogging. And a lot of people say, is blogging still relevant? It is more relevant in 2022 than it ever has been. So I suggest that your pillar of all of this content is your blog. And that's where I would put the content first. Think about the particular topic or theme for the week. Create a blog post that you're going to create somewhere, and once again, there's no preferred length. A lot of people say, how long should my blog post be? It should be long enough to answer the question or provide the content in a quality format. So create a blog post, and then you take that, turn it into a video, turn it into a Facebook post, turn it into Insta post, make a little TikTok video about it, put it on Instagram, tweet about it, different excerpts, throughout the week. And before you know it, you've created all your content plan for the week just from one really good quality blog post that's helpful and going to answer somebody's question or solve somebody's problem, which is really why people are on, the internet looking for answers and connecting with you. So, your blog post is the pillar of that. So if you don't have a blog on your website, then that's probably the place that I would start. And I really am a big fan of just writing out 52 topics or themes, and that really gives you your your starting or your foundation for creating your content as you go through this process each week. Alrighty. Well, hopefully you found that really helpful. If you did, make sure you smash that like button. Put something down in the comments down below, and I'll see you on the next one. See ya.